So what I'm proposing here is that if you have not yet been getting consistent, satisfactory results, then start to challenge the idea that it's all outside and start to look and see what I've pointed out, which is that it's actually happening inside. You are creating your experience from the inside. And it's up to you how far you want to take this. So you could just take this just a little bit, and that's fine. However far you take it, you'll have that much more power. So I'm not suggesting that you need to take this to the nth degree in order to get some positive results with it. You don't have to go all the way and say, well, all of this is a dream that's in my consciousness and the consciousness that I am, and it's all created from the inside out. You don't have to go that far. You could just start small and just start to notice, well, it does seem true that the only way that I'm able to experience is through my five senses, which it's an inner job. That's all happening inwardly. So maybe there is something external. It's a possibility. There might be something external, but the only way that I interface with that, the only way that I experience that is through my internal experiencing. And so therefore, at the very least, doesn't it make sense that there might be internal filters that could have a significant effect on what you're perceiving? So even if there's something truly objective out there, isn't it at least conceivable that your filters, your internal filters, could significantly alter your perception of it? For example, let's say that you desire to have more money. And you might be thinking, well, in order to have more money, I need to do all these external things. I need to I need to put together my resume. I need to apply for the job. I need to go to the interview. I need to do all these things. And maybe that's not your worldview. Maybe you think in order to make the money, you need to start your own business and you need to do all these things. Whatever your worldview is, it doesn't matter. You might think you have to do certain external things. Well, how do you know for sure that you don't already have the money? I mean, wouldn't it be kind of crazy to go jumping through all those external hoops if you already had the money and your goal was just to have the money? And you might say, well, that's crazy. I know I don't have the money because if I had the money, I'd know it. Well, how do you know you'd know it? You know about blind spots? Do you know that we have blind spots, like physiological blind spots? So that I should have in advance thought of this, and I would have come up with an exercise everybody could do. But I'm sure there's some simple exercise you can do to demonstrate to yourself your actual blind spots. There's some point in your field of vision where you cannot actually see something. I think it's somewhere over around here. But your brain just makes it up. Your brain just says, no, there's something there. You can see it, but you can't actually see it. So your brain just fills in the gaps. So this is happening. We have lots of blind spots and our brains just fill in the gaps. So we say, oh, everybody knows that it's just like this. Well, how does everybody know? Everybody's just telling these stories, these common stories. So you walk around and you tell everybody, oh, I don't have any money. I don't have any money. And everybody else says, oh, yeah, it's true. They don't have any money. But how do you know? Maybe the money is there. It's just in your blind spot. It could just be that the money is there in your blind spot. It's there. You're just not seeing it. So if that was true, if the money exists and it's actually there, it's just in your blind spot, wouldn't it be awfully foolish to go jumping through all the hoops trying to find the money? Wouldn't it be better just to identify where the money already is and then be able to see it. Wouldn't that be better? Wouldn't that be more efficient? So that's what I'm proposing is what if you tell yourself that you know things are the way they are because that's what you perceive. There's no other way, right? I mean, that's the only reason why you say that things are the way they are is because you perceive that. So if you say, I want better health. So you're why do you want better health? Well, because you perceive that you don't have the health that you want. Okay, well, how do you know that the health is not already there? And you said, well, it's obvious. Obvious to whom? Well, obvious to you, right? Okay. And how do you know that? Happening through your perception, right? Which is all internal. And you're filtering things. Are you seeing everything that exists? Do you actually think that you're seeing everything that exists? I mean, just like from a scientific perspective. Scientifically, there the the notion is that there's this vast, I think we could probably safely call it infinite field of light, but humans biologically perceive this very narrow band. So you're filtering things. And you say, this is, I know how it is. How do you know how it is? Because of what you're perceiving. So you insist that this is reality based on what you're perceiving. But what you're perceiving is filtered. So how do you know that the health and the money and the relationships and the everything else, how do you know that's not already here? You can't actually know that it's not here. You just assume. And again, I'm not telling you what you should do. I'm just proposing some things to you for your consideration because this might be useful to you if what you've been doing up to now has not been giving you good results. So if there's at least a possibility that what you want is already here, do you suppose that it might be more efficient, a more efficient means to achieve what you want, to make some adjustments to your perception? Sort of like, those stereograms, the stereogram images, where it appears at first like it's just random dots. But if you look at it the right way, then suddenly an image appears. So at first, you think, because of how you're looking at it, you think there's nothing there, it's random, it's nonsense, it's chaos, it's noise. But if you change the way that you are looking at it, suddenly something emerges. It was there all along, but you didn't see it because of how you were perceiving. So again, how do you know that what you want isn't already here? You can't actually know that. You could just assume that it's not here, and then you could go out there, so-called in the objective world, trying to get it. But if that hasn't been giving you the results that you want, then consider that maybe there's something inwardly that you could change, which would allow you to begin to perceive what it is that you want. So then you could start to question, well, what is it that I'm doing? How am I doing my perceiving that's filtering things so that I might not be perceiving what it is that I want?